Dawson City. Located at the confluence of the Yukon and Klondike rivers, this town embodies the gold rush days for which it was born. Vibrant, eclectic, and a bit gritty, here the glory days of the past live on in the dirt streets, architecture, and residents. 1,300 people call this town home, but many don't stay the winters, and summer is a great time to visit. There is so much to see, do, eat, and drink here, and after passing through twice before, we were finally getting some time to take in this unique community.
We are in Dawson City, Yukon. This is our third time to this city this summer, but this time we're gonna stick around, see some of the sights and attractions, but we are not alone. We have the unique opportunity to join up with a guided RV tour group, and we're gonna caravan with them to Alaska. They've given us a number, lucky number 13.
Traveling by RV has many benefits, and one is the companionship and community that many find while traveling in a group. Joining this tour group was a unique opportunity, and we quickly started to make friends as we joined the community meals and activities. We had a few days in Dawson with this group, so we set off to explore the town. Northern Alaska and Canada have a deep history in gold mining, and Dawson is no exception. The town was formed when a gold strike was made on the Klondike River in 1896, and people from all over the world started to flood in. Mine claims were staked all over this area, and Dawson boomed. The gold mining of this area has had many phases over the years, and is still ongoing to this day, but the most notable era of mining were the days of the dredges that operated on the rivers and creeks, and have left an unmistakable mark on the landscape in the interestingly shaped tailing piles that can be seen alongside the roads and from the air. Over millions of years, gold is worked loose by erosion and makes its way into the rivers and streams, and these machines were designed to extract it as fast as possible. One of these massive dredges of the past, dredge number 4, has been restored by Parks Canada and is open for tours. Originally built in 1912, this massive boat began operations on the banks of the Klondike River and floated in a pond it created by its own operation. The purpose of this dredge was to dig down deep in the river and stream beds and pick up the loose placer deposits that contained the highest concentration of gold. It did this by using a massive bucket line that would continuously rotate and take a new bite with each bucket. The buckets would lift the rock and gold up 107 feet to the center of the dredge, where it would be dumped into a 50-foot long spinning drum called a trommel screen. This would extract the largest rocks and expel them out the back of the dredge on a conveyor that would rotate side to side slowly as the dredge moved forward, creating those uniquely shaped tailing piles. The finer gold-containing material would then make its way through sluice boxes via huge quantities of water and a series of grates, and finally a coconut husk mat that would catch about 75% of the gold. The dredge was electrically powered and consumed around 700,000 watts to operate its massive DC motors that drove pumps, winches, gears, and chains. As an engineer, I loved getting to geek out on this old tech that truthfully hasn't changed too much to how gold is extracted today, aside from the fact that it's mostly dug out with bucket loaders and dump trucks instead of dredges. After the dredge, we spent some time hiking and biking along the banks of the mighty Yukon River and came across the Paddlewheeler Graveyard. These mighty riverboats of the past were key players in moving machinery, gold, and people up and down the Yukon and Klondike rivers. As overland travel became more accessible, these paddle wheelers were inconspicuously discarded on the shore across and slightly downstream from the town. Many harsh winters have taken their toll on these poor vessels, and the splintered, broken, rusty hulks make for some fun, yet slightly dangerous exploration. While these massive machines and the earth-scouring days of the gold boom were impressive to learn about, we decided to also visit the cultural center downtown to learn about the impact this all had on the native populations that called this place home prior to the boom. The Cultural Center has a great film and exhibits about the Trondheim people and the challenges they faced here over the years. Originally, the site of Dawson City was traditional fishing and hunting camps, but the gold boom almost destroyed the native community altogether. Luckily, the chief at the time, Chief Isaac, recognized the impact the gold rush was having on his people and worked to move them just downstream to the settlement of Moosehide that still exists today. Years of struggle have existed between the native people and the government, but land claim agreements and a now working relationship with the Canadian government have helped to find a modern balance and inclusion in the current society of the North. One day, we joined the tour group to explore the town and kicked it off with a walking tour.
So welcome to Dawson City, and my theme for this tour, strange things done in the midnight sun.
It's this group.
This tour was put on by Parks Canada, as the town has many historic sites that have been restored to preserve the town's unique past. We had a fantastic tour guide who took us into unique buildings that have been restored, like the bank, post office, bar, and even town brothel. He told us weird, fascinating, and strange stories of this town's past and present. That evening, the group gathered again to explore the town's nightlife and started off at Diamond Tooth Gertie's Gambling Hall. This unique establishment has a bar, gambling hall, and stage where each night vaudeville-type shows are put on for the guests. We had seats right up front, and some of our crew, willing or not, even got to partake in the show.
Well, I like it. Go ahead. You can keep those boys. Bring them back to a very good idea there. I like it. How about some...
After a great show, the crew headed off to partake in one of the town's most well-known oddities.
We're joining the group here in downtown Dawson City at the Downtown Hotel to do one of the most disgusting things we've ever done, the Sourtoe cocktail.
Starting in 1973, the Downtown Hotel has been serving up cocktails laced with human toe. Administered each evening by the toe captain, your shot of whatever you choose receives a severed human toe that must touch your lips before you are done with the drink.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this cocktail and why it is special to the saloon?
Well, when Captain Dick Stevenson started serving it in 1973, found the toe in a cabin in 1972 in the middle of the creek. And these guys were rum runners, and one of them froze his toe. His brother chopped it off, put it in a mason jar with the OP rum, put it on a shelf. Dick found it like 40 years later.
Oh my God.
And then he's a punster like me, so he came up with the idea. If you want to become an honorary sourdough, you have to kiss the sourdough toe.
After which you get a certificate claiming you an honorary sourdough, the name given to one who has chosen to make the gold mining areas of Alaska and the Yukon home.
You drink it fast, you drink it slow, but your lips must touch this gnarly toe.
We lined our group up, and one by one, with a little encouragement, we each downed our shot of toe cocktail.
Singing, singing, singing! Hoya, hoya,
Oh. Thank you very much. Gross. So it really isn't that bad. You don't really feel it. You don't know what's touching your lips. And doing it with the group was so much fun, getting cheered on like that. It's still kind of disgusting.
After a few fun days of making new friends and exploring this awesome town, we gathered atop Midnight Dome, overlooking the city to toast to Alaska that we will be traveling to the next day.
Fantasy 2, this is Fantasy 13.
the park.
Fantasy 13, you have a great trip out there today. And try to
Traveling with the group, we got up early to catch the ferry and once again drive the amazing top-of-the-world highway across the border to Alaska. This time, the valleys below us were filled with fog as we drove across this amazing mountain ridge highway. We made it back to Alaska and settled into the Chicken Gold Camp RV Park in Chicken, Alaska. That evening, we had an amazing meal put together by the wagon masters of the group and a local dessert that was served by the campground owners.
I've got some blueberry cobbler and ice cream.
Where'd that come from?
The RV park here in Chicken, Alaska has made this. It's my understanding that it's homemade with locally picked blueberries. I'm so excited to eat this.
We were also treated to a speech by the owner of the campground who has been mining up here for years and even has his own historic dredge at the campground. He explained to us how the town came to be named Chicken.
In 1902, Chicken decided to apply for a post office. And it wasn't named Chicken at the time. It didn't even have a name. There was just miners in the area. There were said to be 400 miners in the Chicken area. And so they got the post office application. It said name of the community, had invited everybody to come. They go, so what do we want to name this place? We got to put this on the post office application. They said, well, let's name it Ptarmigan. Yeah, let's name it Ptarmigan. Ptarmigan, if you don't know, is like a grouse. It's a little bird. Most people hunt it here, or did hunt it. Some people still do. So they go, okay, let's spell that. They couldn't agree on the spelling. So they said, well, hell, let's just name it Chicken. Probably not a true story, but that's the story that's on our postcard down in the...
The next day we awoke to rain, but found enough time to explore the not-so-vast downtown. Here you can get a bite to eat at the cafe, drink at the bar, or shop at the general store, and you might just see the same person working at all three. While small, Chicken is well known for its yearly Chicken Stock family-friendly music festival that's held here each summer. We next drove on to Tok, Alaska, where again we reprovision.
And then get in line, and everybody's helping each other.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
All ready?
Perfect.
Was your drive good?
Yes.
Excellent.
Here we also took part in the community RV wash, where members of the group helped each other get their rigs sparkling again after all the dirt roads. We were happy to see the Dempster mud wash away and leave our rig looking like new once again. We spent the evening here around the campfire with our newfound friends, and really enjoyed hearing and sharing stories of the unique roads we had been driving. From here, we would depart the group, as they were heading to Fairbanks, and we were heading down to Valdez, Alaska, located on the coast.